Hi, welcome to February. You know, this could be the last month for the flannel shirt. It could also be the last month for mortgage rates at 3%. And have you heard about inflation? And oh yeah, a lot of news coming into Huntsville that will affect your home prices. Let's check it out. Okay, let's get started. This month we're going to take a look at the Huntsville numbers. Sometimes we look at Huntsville City, sometimes Madison County. This month we're taking a look at Huntsville. Index is peaking again. We looked last year when we were looking back, we thought back in April, said maybe that was the peak of our crazy seller's market. The index pegged at 100, that's as high as it can go, and it trailed off for the rest of the year. So we were kind of confident that we had seen the peak. But here we are again, December, January, pegging at 100 again. So the market is crazy again. Started off with gangbusters. It is just really rolling right now. Inventory is bottoming again. You know, it's not really an inventory story. As we've mentioned, we sold more homes last year than we did the year before. So we have the same number of homes or more on the market. The issue is we have 4, 5, 6, or 8, 10 times as many people wanting to buy a home. We'll look at some of those reasons why shortly, but we just have such high demand, it's gobbling up everything that we have on the market. This is just almost no inventory at all. We thought maybe we had a bottom last July in our inventory, and it started to rise a little bit into the fall and in early winter, but here we are back at the same levels we were last summer. So we're doing everything we can to get more inventory on the market, but there's so many buyers. Homes are on the market now 1 or 2 days, and it's just like it was a year ago. No price top yet. You know, if you're waiting for the market to crash, I don't think you're looking at the right data. In Huntsville specifically, we price our market in price per foot. Now in Birmingham, it's completely different. They don't go by price per foot. They go by average price. So you can't really look at the average price and tell if the Huntsville market is rising or falling, but you can tell that if you look at the price per foot. We thought maybe we had peaked again last summer at $159 average per foot. But as you see, early this year, February 4th, we're at $167. So no price break in sight. Prices are still climbing, and we just don't see a break anytime in the near future. Now, have you heard about inflation? Have you filled up your car with gas? Have you been to the grocery store? Inflation is bad in a lot of ways, but inflation is very good for homeowners. This is a quote from one of the financial writers. As you know, real estate's a time-honored inflation hedge. Real estate has typically always outperformed inflation, and we expect that to happen in the future. Let's take a look at how home ownership is a hedge against inflation. Now, this is over the last 50 years. You can see that in every decade over the last 5, except for one, and that was during the big crash in 2008, 9, and 10. Oh, Steve, don't talk about a crash. Things are completely different now. We're not going to cover that on this, but we have covered that in these sessions before. Homes have always outpaced inflation, and we think that's going to continue. So if inflation rises, your home values are going to rise. Now that's great if you own a home. It's not so great if you're renting a home or if you're renting an apartment, because rents always outpace inflation as well. So if you're a renter and you're thinking about buying a home, you need to make a connection and start a conversation and see about getting your own home and paying your own mortgage. It's not a question if you're going to pay a mortgage. You're paying a mortgage right now. You just should be paying your own mortgage instead of your landlord's mortgage. Rents in Huntsville have not appreciated as much as home prices. So we possibly are going to have a period this year where we see 10 or 15% rise in rents as the rents roll over, because the home prices have just outpaced rents for the last couple of years. But if you're renting and you can purchase, you really need to talk to us. Look in the description below to get a link to make an appointment, but you need to talk to somebody about being a homeowner and not a home renter. You're going to hear mortgage rates are going up. That's what Fed is going to do. They're going to raise rates to fight inflation. So yes, mortgage rates are rising. You see that we bottomed out end of 21, early 21, end of 20. Under 3%, almost 2.5% for the 30-year mortgage. That is a clear bottom in mortgage rates. So if you're waiting for the bottom in mortgage rates, you missed it. It was a couple of years ago. Rates have really shot up this year, especially as they talk about raising rates this year by the Fed to fight inflation, and we think the rates are going to continue to rise As rates rise, it is going to affect home affordability. So it's going to make homes harder to purchase. It's going to take more people out of the market. It's going to ease some of the demand, and we could use some eased demand right now. If you want to track mortgage rates, the easiest thing to look at, which is published every day in any financial paper or on any website, is the 10-year Treasury note. The 10-year Treasury note has always tracked 30-year mortgage rates. There's usually about a delta of 1.7%. When the Fed raises interest rates, the rates on these 10-year notes are going to go up and the mortgage rates are going to follow. So mortgage rates will be going up this year. The 10-year Treasury notes will be going up this year. Most people expect 4 to 5 rate increases this year from the Federal Reserve. And as the 10-year note goes up, so will mortgage rates. Now, it's important as you hear mortgage rates going up not to get too bent out of shape if you're going to be a buyer. You need to take a look at the long-term history of mortgage rates. Mortgage rates right now are excellent. We're still at generational lows, even if we get close to 4%. Look at the historical numbers on these mortgage rates over the last 50 years. I bought my first home in the 80s, and it was about 13%, and we had good credit. So, 4% mortgage rates, 5% mortgage rates, those are generational lows, rates we haven't seen in over 50 years. Home prices this year are still going to increase. These are estimates from some of the major economic companies that forecast prices for homes, and everybody is looking for a price increase. The degree of increase is different. We've taken these and grouped them up. The most optimistic projections for the next 5 years. Now, this was done in the last quarter of last year, so they were looking out over the next 5 years. The most optimistic projections had appreciation of 62% over the next 5 years. The most pessimistic still had an appreciation of 23% over the next 5 years, with the average being at 43%. That's an astounding number for home prices. Unprecedented to have that kind of growth over a 5-year period of time, because historically homes have risen at about 3 or 4% a year. And this is clearly outpacing that projection. And the hits keep coming for Huntsville. If you're paying attention to the news, I don't know how you can expect the Huntsville market to slow down or prices to crash because of all the things that are happening in our area every month. Last month, Wallet Hub. Huntsville has the number 6 job market in the U.S. Jobs mean people, people need housing, and that's the situation that we're in. United Van Lines survey last year, top inbound states, Alabama number 6, and I guarantee you most of the people moving to Alabama are moving to North Alabama in the Huntsville area. National Association of Realtors picked 10 housing markets where prices are expected to outpace the national average. Prices are expected to be better than those averages that the experts were looking at a while back. Huntsville was number 4 out of 10. Top emerging housing markets in the winter of 22 from Realtor.com, Huntsville number 8. Huntsville's in the top 10 of every real estate list that you look at where they're talking about housing. So I just don't know how anyone could be looking for a crash in our market. It's just not on the horizon. If you're going to be a buyer, you need to be making a move. 2022 should be another strong year for housing, and it's not going to be any different in our market. If you're selling, connect with us. There are multiple ways that you can sell your home and move to your new home. I know you're concerned about getting another home, and that is an issue. It's tough being a buyer right now. But we have multiple ways to sell your home, let you stay in it while you find a new home, or find your new home first and then sell your home second. There's several things that we can do, but reach out to us and let's connect. We've got a lot of good resources in the description below. Those articles that we just went over, the links are in the description below. If you want to read through those articles, go to the description and click through. There's an appointment tab in there if you'd like to talk to us about buying or selling your home this year. Spring is right around the corner. Let us know. We'll be glad to have that conversation and get you started. Have a great week, and we're going to have a great year in Huntsville real estate.
Woo!